What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to my task list part 3. Well, like always, the tasks are going to be all over the place, and I even got confused myself as to whether or not I did them all. While doing these videos, I actually found the solution, but we won't get to that until the next part. So if you want to see something truly odd, make sure you stick around for part 4. For now, I'm going to try to explain to you how these tasks came about to the best of my recollection. And this one, where we had to defeat Mr. Fantastic, popped up while we were doing the research. So once again, it's another boss fight, Anti-Predictive Justice Mission 2. So let's go in there and beat up some other fellow heroes. The Force team up for this one's actually going to be with Black Panther, so it's a pretty decent team. I also believe to advance the mission I had to take out Hulk, so we're only facing Thor in this first wave. He of course is in a Scrapper alternate, and as we've been pointing out, most of these heroes are in their alternate costumes. After this follow-up rapier, he's going to be pretty hurt already, so he's on his way out. But he has something to say first. Now I don't know if this is supposed to happen like this. Jane's not even on our team. You would think she's supposed to be a team-up, and that's why Thor talks to her. But I guess maybe she's just a spectator. Either way, we're going to knock him out, most likely with his counter, so there goes the first wave already. Then moving on to the next wave, it's going to be Mr. Fantastic himself, plus Spidey and Human Torch. It kind of hurts having to take out Spidey, but we're actually going to go after Human Torch first. We're just going to use a Blade of the Guardian, and it actually takes him out in one shot. So with Black Panther, I guess we're going to use Vibranium Daggers on Mr. Fantastic. Also Momentary Advantage of course. And then we'll start with his level 2 Wakandan Arts. So we're going to try to get Mr. Fantastic since he has 2 turns coming up, and we'd rather not have that. That follow-up rapier definitely helps. And there's my boys. But he still needs another attack, so we'll use Panther Stance. And then I guess we'll let him die to absorb energy after all, so let's go ahead and attack Spidey, dealing some damage to him, and setting him up most likely for a counterattack finish. Well, after our follow-up, we get a Relentless Rapier, and that's going to be the end of him. Then Fantastic goes down to dots. So a pretty fast completion of that boss fight. I definitely appreciate any time we can get a task done fast. For that, we get 15,000 silver, and we can move on to number 4. Or whatever number it is. This time on the boss roulette, there's going to be another AISO and a Temporal Blaster. So we wouldn't mind winning that weapon. And then the AISO is going to be the Overcharged Augmented ISO 8. So I think that's one we've seen before. I don't think we've won it yet though, so I wouldn't mind getting either this or that blaster. And it looks like we're going to get 1 CP. Now the next task is already popped, and it's to complete 3 flight deck missions, so pretty easy one. Any flight mission, any length, just collect them and you're done. Then you'll get 1 CP also as a reward. After that, the next step for me was completing the research, so we got the Proximate Foreboding Device. The last one was task number 4 on the anti-predictive side. This is What is Justice 4 of 13. So we get 15,000 silver and it's on to the next task. This one makes sense. It's to equip the foreboding device and then use the agent in combat. The funny thing is you can equip it and this will give a check mark right away. Then just use your agent and you'll get a check mark for that. As you can see, we put it on our agent and there's the check. So anyways, now we have to go into combat. It can be anywhere. If you happen to have another quest, you can do both of these tasks at the same time. And we did get Defeat Captain Marvel. Now I believe this is the one that everyone's saying is buggy, but I didn't notice any problems. I must have done the yellow battle and not even paid attention. But they say make sure you do the yellow battle over the red one, and then you'll get this task to pop up. This of course is going to be another boss fight, this time in Mission 3. So it's not going to be short, but we just have to go in and get it done. Once again, it just kind of hurts to face Captain Marvel and Black Bolt. I almost didn't realize how many of my favorite characters are on the pro-predictive side. But hey, at least we get to bring in Iron Man and Black Panther, who are solid characters in game. Black Bolt and Karnak don't have alternate costumes, or I'm sure they'd be wearing them. And speaking of alternate costumes, I really do hope that some other Civil War characters get one. At least Falcon. I mean, come on. He could use one. And I'm not saying I have anything against his original, just they could make him look even cooler. So I hope they at least consider giving him a new one at some point in the future. As for Black Bolt the character, I have a funny story about him, or at least somewhat interesting. The last time I was at the comic book shop, I was talking to one of the clerks about how I loved Black Bolt. There's just something about him, and I think it's the fact that he's quiet, yet extremely powerful. And maybe, at least for most of my life, I could identify with that. Or thought I could, let's put it that way. And then out of the blue, this one guy turns to me and he's like, I overheard you guys talking. And he showed me a cosplay picture where he dressed up as Black Bolt. It was actually pretty funny and awesome. I never really thought about this, but what if he watched my videos? If so, now he knows he met the Kingfisher. I don't see how that would be thrilling, but who knows. Either way, Karnak is the one remaining enemy. We took out our beloved Black Bolt. And after these counters, he's still standing pretty strong. The worst thing about this fight is the next wave isn't going to be the final one. We have to face some servo bots. Yeah, I guess Dr. Doom is helping us out. And by us, I mean all us pro-predictive supporters. But hey, he's a playable character, so it's not like we haven't worked with him. The good news is, these shouldn't take too long. And then we'll get to go to the third and final wave, which has Dr. Doom in a 3-man team, which seems unfair. I know this fight video-wise is taking forever, but the good news is it's the last big task we're going to do. We only have a few more things to point out, and then at the end we'll be on our next research. So just bear with me or skip ahead, whatever you want to do. But yeah, for anyone watching, I do have a question for you in the comments. Have you seen the Civil War movie yet? I still haven't, unfortunately. If you have, please don't put any spoilers in the comments. But let me know what you would give it out of a scale from 1 to 10. I expect really big things from it. It may be my favorite movie of all time. That's just judging from the trailers. But so far I've heard only good reviews. And I'm just curious what everyone else thought of it. Alright, well this last servo basher should be going down, I think right now. So we'll be moving on to our final wave. And that has Dr. Doom, Captain Marvel, and Medusa. Unfortunately, Iron Man has to recharge, but what we're going to do is use Christmas cookies and give everyone back their stamina. Then with my agent, I'm going to use Smothering Shadow and the Improbability Field. We're going to go dot heavy on these three. We're not playing around. We want to get this over with. And if everything goes well, then we can probably end it with an Atom Smasher. As you can see, Medusa takes some dot damage, then she attacks my agent. So she's going to get counterattacked. First to Blade the Guardian, then the Mercurial misses. That was pretty unfortunate. Next up is Doom. Probably my favorite villain. So they even have the best villain on the pro-predictive side. As I said earlier, he gets a full 3-man team, which made me wish I could use that with him as well. And then finally, Captain Marvel's going to attack. But first she's hit with the Panther's Bite. Then she hits my agent, who counters, finishing her. So at least that went fast. Next up with Black Panther. We try to take down Medusa, but we are hit by Cower. Both his next attack, he did take her out. So finally, Iron Man's going to use Heartbreaker Unibeam on Dr. Doom. And since we get another attack, he'll use it twice. This attack always did huge damage before. Right now, it's just doing okay damage against Doom. But with our agent, after using Alluring Light to try to help out our mission score, we're going to go ahead and use that Atom Smasher. And that should easily end this fight. So here goes that killing blow. And it's going to do 21,000 damage. So that's it. That's going to be the end of that task. We get a pretty high mission score. And we're going to get the blueprint for the Distant Foreboding device. So just like I said, we got credit for using my agent there, so that's going to be that task. We also got the other task done to defeat Captain Marvel. It's going to be a 1200 experience reward for this one. And then moving on to the boss roulette. I believe this one's going to have a pretty decent item. So let's see what it has. The Magic Incantation Ring, which I definitely want. Then there of course is an actuating augmented ISO 8. That one seems to be pretty common, but we still haven't won it. And we just missed the ring by 1 slot. Anyways, not dwelling on it, we're on to task number 6 of 13, and we have to create the distant foreboding device in the lab. So let's go over there and see what it costs. For this research, it takes 1 day, 40 unstable ISO 8, and 5,000 silver. So we're going to get that one started. And then we'll basically be back really soon. Oh, and by the way, before we end, we did get credit for that Miss Marvel task. It popped up right before we did the research, but it was really quick. So here it was right here. 15,000 silver. That's going to be it for this one though, and we will be back very soon. Tomorrow will be part 4, and we're going to get this done as fast as we can. That's going to be it for now, but I thank you all for watching. Ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.